Right, we're recording.
You hold it.
I've got the Macodio phone on, Gordo.
Right.
Yes, I'm going to hold this camera.
Looking that way.
Well, I just thought I'd show where we are.
Right.
So here we are, Dave the Rave, roving the rock, and Gordo. Gordo?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think we're Gordon the Gopher last time.
Gordon the Gopher.
Okay, going
round the rock.
Going round the rock, going for this, going for that. In this case, going, where are we going? Gordon the Gopher. Gordon the Gopher. Where are we going to?
Well, this was your idea.
Yes.
And the weather was good. And it's totally changed. I can pronounce it right. Coire Fhionn Lochan.
I don't even know.
Coire Fhionn Lochan.
That sounds good.
Sounds
that
right.
sounds more Scottish than I can even possibly
Coire
make it.
Fhionn Lochan?
Coire
Fhionn Lochan.
Fhionn Lochan. We're going for Fhionn Lochan. Don't know if it's Coire
Yes.
or Coire.
Coire. C-O-I-R-E, I think.
Right. Oh,
F-H.
yes, that's right, so I can see the sign.
I-O-N-N.
Okay.
And then Lochan.
Right.
Your eyesight's better than mine.
Well, yeah, I've got my window open. And that is the salient point here, because I've got my window open, which means I can see. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to see, because it's raining and the forecast was what?
Dry.
Dry. Dry for the next week. In fact, I was at work yesterday. I'm now on holiday for 2 weeks. I was at work yesterday and somebody says, oh, it's dry for the whole of the next week, and I looked at XC weather and right enough there isn't a single spot of rain.
Alright.
Well, there wasn't when I looked at it.
I can't get anything here.
So, and it's rained the whole way here. So, for me, sadly, I'm woefully underprepared because we're going up this big hill. The plan was to go up to, well, in fact, I'll ask you again, so what's the plan?
Well, your plan was to go up the ridge at the back.
Yes, of Thundergay,
But
up Coire
I
Fhionn
think,
Lochan.
you know, with regards to the weather, that might not be the best thing.
It's horrible.
So maybe run round the loch would be a good, would be a better idea. Not so high.
Maybe we shouldn't even go anywhere at all, to be honest.
Oh, it's a bit of rain.
I wasn't even going to bring a jacket. So I've got my lightweight spring jacket, which isn't even waterproof, and I was even thinking I might not need it.
Well,
So
Dave,
that's a beginner's
were you a
error,
Boy
isn't
Scout?
it?
Were you a Boy Scout in your young days?
I wasn't.
And what was always?
Be prepared.
I was a Boy Scout, so that always told, and I've always been since, be prepared was one of the mottos.
I was just told British Petroleum is what it stood for, BP.
No.
BP.
No,
I never knew about the be prepared thing.
be prepared was one of the mottos as a Boy Scout.
Okay.
So always prepared.
I wish someone had taught me
I
that.
bought a decent jacket because
Then I'd be prepared.
we're going up high. That's the
Yeah.
main thing. It could be lovely weather,
Could be.
right? But
It could be horrible.
it could be the sunniest day in the whole year. You go up there, have a wee accident, might have to spend a bit of time up there more longer than you normally do.
Yeah.
So you make sure you take, even could be sunny, if you get cold. So you need to make sure you're prepared,
And I'm not.
and you're not. But you've got long trousers on.
I've got long trousers on.
The rain will probably go off. Maybe.
Well, it's raining on the camera. I've got the window open. Oh God.
So anyway.
Okay.
I think we'll make it to the, even if you've got, that's fine. We keep moving. That'll be the main thing. We keep, it's not cold, so we keep moving.
8.5 degrees.
Yeah, 8.5. That's balmy 8.5. Put that on. We keep moving. Get up to the loch, and if you
We'll see
maybe
what
just
we're
turn
doing.
around and come back down.
We'll see what we're doing when we get up.
Yeah, we get a hat.
I've got a hat,
Get
and that
gloves.
brings me to one of the things I was going to talk about. I've got hundreds of things to talk about. I'm only
Right,
going to talk about
God.
half of them because
Well-
we never run, right? But
I know you've got 2 weeks holiday, but
I've
you
got
know,
2 weeks
I've only got
holiday.
2 days, so it doesn't make it too long.
no, so I've got hundreds.
Right, okay, we'll
This
crack
is a
on.
rabbiting fool.
Crack
so,
on.
but talking about hats, I have got a hat with me.
Yep.
Russ, the Arran haulage driver, told me yesterday that hats make you go bald. So I looked it up on the internet. I know that helmets do. I knew that, motorbike
Right.
helmets, that's why you get baldy bikers, because they put the helmet on and it rips the hair follicles backwards and actually destroys them. That's why you get baldy bikers. So, am I allowed to say baldy bikers? Are you allowed to be a baldy biker anymore?
Well, probably, yeah.
A baldy
probably.
domed biker?
I mean, I don't like hats. I wear them for running, woolly hats. So, but only.
I
have worn helmets quite a lot over the last few years of my work. So
yeah,
maybe it does prove the point.
On the, what do you call them? Scooter things that you run about on.
Segways.
Segways, that's right. So you balance on them.
Maybe that's why I'm a bit follically challenged.
Well, I think the acid test for baldiness, to be honest, is if you can pat your baldy dome and make a kind of good drumming beat on it, then it's baldy. I can do that.
I've never done that.
Right, now if I had lots of hair, that wouldn't make any noise.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's baldy, look.
Even if you slap a full head of hair, you don't get that.
Well, it's been quite a while since I had one, to be
fair.
fair.
If I slap that bit.
Well, that's actually quite impressive. Maybe you're baldy there as well. That was better.
Right, okay. Right, crack on.
Okay, so I like my bonnet, security bonnet. So, turns out that's bad for your head because it makes your head so hot, it sweats. And then the hair follicles think, I don't need to be here anymore because your head's so hot the whole time.
Right.
So that makes you baldy as well.
Right.
There you go, and towel drying, it makes you go baldy. Didn't know that? Yes, that's right. And also certain types of shampoos and heat and hair drying. So, and then if you escape all of those things, just being old.
Well, some folk just go bald anyway because of big folk like my granddad was bald in his 20s.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think he wore a lot of hats.
Well, I
never saw my photos with hats on, so
right, okay.
I've got a feeling, he was just the short straw,
I see, you can get
the short hair follicle.
You can regrow hair actually. They can
yes, I know. It costs a lot of money.
Yes, that's right. And we live in Arran.
It's total vanity only, isn't it?
We're Arran cotters. We're not going to be doing that.
No.
Okay. So, right, Arran things. Have you seen how many jobs there are on the island advertised these days? On Facebook?
No, on the banner.
Lots on Facebook.
Right, okay.
Endless jobs.
Yep.
So many.
Can't get staff.
Can't get them. You could do so many jobs here if you wanted, if you had somewhere to live. And that's the point. I've mentioned it before, but it brings it back to the fore again. So many jobs, and it's almost like pleading applications, like they're pleading for, normally in the past you'd see applications and they would say, you've got to be hardworking, you've got to have a licence, you've got to have a certificate, you've got to be living locally, all these kind of things, demands.
No, just say you've got to have a house.
Now, you don't need to do anything. We will pay above the living wage. We will pay the living wage and a whole bunch more. We'll look after you. You can do any hours you like. You can suit yourself part-time, full-time, seasonal, permanent. You can pick and choose,
You can work 1 day a week.
Yeah, very, very flexible because there aren't enough people. And that's bring it to the fore because the spring's here now because we're at the middle of February.
Easter. And
folk are trying to get ready for the season and there's so many applications and I don't see anybody really commenting on them, so that's interesting. That's a kind of a bit of an eye-opener again. I saw on Facebook a touring caravan advertised at 2,500 and it was a really big one, a nice one, and it made me think, I said I could live in that caravan and I would be happy to do it with a different view every day and a different sunset and things and no fixed abode, and I quite fancy that. But regardless of whether I ever did that or not, why is nobody else living in a touring caravan? Because I would have thought, since there's nowhere to live here, surely if you could pick up a caravan, £2.5 grand, you've got no bills, you can just park it for a few days, move it around. It's not difficult to do. I don't know really why nobody's done it, unless they just don't want to live in a caravan. Is that the strange thing for me? Am I the only one that quite likes the idea of living in a caravan? Is that what it is? They just don't want to. Not that they can't. Just that they don't want to.
You said we've got to keep moving it about.
Well, I think there's some regulations about caravans being mobile. I don't know if it's every few days or once a week or something, but it can't be permanently sited in a place because then, you're allowed to park it. You've paid your road tax, you're allowed to park a caravan. But I haven't checked the regulations, but I have heard variously between 3 days and a week you've got to be able to kind of move it around so it's not permanent. Like, if you remember, I don't know what the name for it, the travelling people, or the tinkers as we used to call them, and they were permanently sited in caravans and people would object to that, and because they were
well, there is that, though. If you moved it about, you'd probably still get people saying, that person's been parked there for blah de blah, and you know, so
Yeah.
I don't know whether that puts people. Is that the one that was like 2,500? Was that
2,500.
a towing caravan?
Yeah,
Aye,
a big
I saw
one.
That one.
Really nice.
Was it big? Oh.
Yeah, well, big one for a towing caravan. Yeah, it had everything in it. You know, bathroom and a full-size cooker and shower
Yeah, I
and
didn't see that.
and a fridge and all that kind of stuff. It was nice. But anyway, I just looked at it a few times. And I thought I fancy that, but I don't know. I don't need to be doing that.
Well, you've got one though.
Yeah, I've got a house number. but why is nobody doing that if they've got nowhere to go? I don't understand it. There must be some other reason, unless it's just that they don't fancy it. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah,
Maybe that's it.
maybe I've not thought about it.
Yeah.
Like you have.
Well, I've thought about it a lot. Next thing I was going to talk about, your brother was over recently, wasn't he? David Allsop, and I saw what he got up to. You probably know more about it than me. So he was just like zip over, run up Goat Fell, and then went swimming.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't actually remember where he was swimming, but I think it was the river. It might have been Glen Rosa.
What? He's been over a couple of times. Was this like really recently? Well, he does come over and swim. We swam on Christmas Day in the river in Sanix.
Maybe that's it.
He likes doing that. We went for a run on Christmas Day, did a 5k, and then he jumped in the river. Obviously, I thought, well, I'm not going to join you. I'll just photo it because I don't fancy it. But he does that. He likes it. He's done that for a while.
Goes
for dips in cold lochs and that. And he says,
gosh,
and a lot of folk are telling me it's really good for you, and it probably is, but just doesn't do it for me.
Doesn't do it for, well, having said that, I haven't tried it in February or December, but
No.
I think he went over. I think he was in the water last time as well. I've seen it recently.
I know he does. Yeah, he's probably went up Glen Rose at one point and went in one of the not the lochs, the pools.
The pools, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but he goes in lochs and rivers. Yeah.
Well, that's impressive. And just something came up recently. I was talking to someone who used to live here about nearly 40 years ago, and he said to me, he remembered this story. He was having an operation, and I says, "Oh, the pain will get better. You know, you've had your operation, and you'll be getting on the mend now, and it won't be so sore soon. You know, just being positive." He says, "It's easy for you to say that because you hardly feel pain." And I said, "How's that?" And this is to do with runners, I think, right? This is before I was a runner, though. Right. So this is in the 80s. I'm in the lash, and I'm about to get in the front of a car. He related the story, and I only remembered it because he told me. I had forgotten about the story. And I'm about to get in a car. I'm getting in the front passenger side of the car, and in the rear passenger side of a car, someone's getting in there. So I put my hand round into the hinge part of the back part of the door, just to ease myself into the front, not knowing that someone was going to shut the back door tight. And I remember, I'm not on the outside of the back door, I'm on the hinge part. My fingers are in the hinge part, so that door fully shut then, because all the force of that's on the hinge, right? And I didn't know that was going to happen. So bang goes the door. My fingers, I don't know what's happened to them. They're no longer connected to me. And this is where it gets strange, right? Because he tells me this and he's correct. So the instant that happened, remember, I didn't know it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't make any noise. I made the decision that same split second. Oh, I'm overcome with pain, and at the same time, I wonder how much pain I can take.
What happened to my fingers?
How much can I take? Yeah. Can I take this and not even let it out? Can I hold it in? And so, that same split second, even though I didn't know it was going to happen, it happened, and it's all slow motion, you know, these things happen. I decided not to feel any pain or to let out that I'd had any pain. I didn't make any noise, and then I actually just decided to stand there with my fingers in the door and not say anything. And at some point someone said, Dave, you're not getting in the car. And I says, well, I need to get my fingers back first, you know, because they're actually in the hinge of the back door. It's very fast, that, wasn't it? And then they were like, oh my God, they opened the door again, and I was wondering if I had fingers, but because they're completely jammed in so much, almost like they are cut off from me, but they might have been cut off. But anyway, there's a good example of a kind of runner's mentality, because I was trying to explain to someone recently, it's not really about the times you do. It's if you're going to challenge yourself as a runner, what you're doing one thing. You're challenging yourself to see how much pain you can take and still not give in. And that's actually a wonderful example with the door, when I wasn't even running, for no reason other than just to see if I could do it. I controlled the pain and I didn't say anything. And I think that's kind of like a mad runner's mentality. That's what I think. If you're competing, not just messing about like we're doing.
But I'm trying to think of any occasion I've been running when I've been, because I'm trying to imagine the pain caused by what happened with your fingers, and I'm trying to think. I mean, I've been in some long runs, and like I've just wanted to finish, and I've been, duffed, but I cannot think of a situation where I have, because I'm trying to imagine that pain you must have felt. But maybe, I mean, the thing is, maybe it wasn't as bad as it seems, because your fingers are actually like almost disconnected from your body, because the blood supply's cut off. You don't even know if you've got them anymore. It's like they're completely gone. Can I tighten up here?
Yeah, I know, that's horrible, isn't it? I actually did that as well, because I could have just been cut off.
I've battered my thumb with a hammer, a mallet, put in fence.
It's horrible. And I've done that as well.
Been dancing around for 20 minutes in pain.
Yes.
So yeah, and I put my finger in a lawnmower and
in a lawnmower.
Yeah, stupid thing to do. And clear the grass out, and got my finger with it, and I just a bit passed out.
Gosh,
to lie down on the ground, my legs up, because I knew I was going to go, so I managed to do that before I went. I think it's the fright of thinking what could have happened. I mean, only like got a bad cut, but it's like I could have,
just been gone,
lost a finger,
completely gone.
And it's stupidity. You think, and the shock of it, kind of like maybe think, and I had to lie down because I knew I was going to go. But no, I can't think of a running incident that I've been in. So anyway, you've kind of.
I could have gone to another story there actually, but anyway, I'm not going to give some rabbiting on. I should just carry on talking. I should talk about something relevant.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So I was at work the other day. And we're on the tannoy, and every so often you say something, or on your radio. We've got little tannoys and radios. We communicate with all these different devices, and little handheld radios.
Right.
And he said, "All right, have you got that message?" Yeah. And then I said, like 10-4, good buddy, over and out, right? And then what is the 10-4 good buddy thing, right? And I think it was Ailey that said it. Anyway, that's what it's, CB talk, like got a smoky on your tail, and I've just looked up Smokey and the Bandit, by the way, Kojak with a Kodak, that's a police person with a camera, right? I looked up, I remember when I said it, a rubber duck is the first vehicle in a convoy, rubber duck,
I remember that.
Rubber duck, convoy, Smokey on the tail, Smokey at the back door,
what's a Smokey? What's a Smokey at the back door?
At the back door? No, yes, at the back door. Copper at the back door.
Right, not a Kojak at the back door. No?
Kojak with a Kodak.
Right.
And also, catch you on the flip-flop was another one, which means get on the other side, on the flip-flop. Right. But anyway, the point was, and then I would put in the odd little thing like, ka-jug-jug-jug, because that's like Ross Coltrane.
Coltrane, yeah.
Right.
People like, what's he talking about?
Ailey didn't even know what CB talk. She didn't know the CB talk.
She didn't know who Roscoe P. Coltrane was.
She didn't know what a CB was. I had to say Citizens Band Radio, right? It's like explaining what a record player is or something like that. And you're just from a different century. And actually, you are from a different century. Because she was born in the mid-90s. So, 96. As are quite a few people that I'm working with. Some of them were born about 2000.
I know.
So different century. So
some weren't born when I started in my job.
Well, I tested it. I tested it on a couple of them, and they didn't know what Citizens Band Radio was at all. Go and check this. It's gone dry outside, Gordon.
Yep, that's a good sign.
That's a very good sign. Maybe that is the forecast that we were promised. It's clearing up across the bay as well.
All right.
It's clearing up out there, so that's good. Right, so I know I'm still rabbiting. I better finish up. Let's see what's in, because I've got hundreds of things to say. Well, I'm not going to say them all.
Well, Dave, it's my fault, I suppose, because it's been so long since we had a run. So
Oh yeah, you were saying that.
Stuff.
How long was it since we've had a run?
Weeks.
Yeah, it's been weeks. We've been working too hard, haven't we?
Working, doing just our days haven't like what's the word?
Coincided.
Coincided. That's a good word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coincided.
Or-
Days off have not coincided. I've been busy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Busy, working too hard, working hard all the
Working too
time,
hard, yeah.
and then catching up on your days off for
because
things.
it has been the usual midterm break,
Yeah.
February midterm
Yeah.
break, which seems to have lasted the whole month.
Yeah,
really.
that's what I thought. Well, I've seen it at the pier. We've only got the Isle of Arran boat, but it's just full the entire time, and actually it's like overrun. But every time, every week, it's just it's a holiday. It's a holiday. It's a holiday. It's like how many holidays? We've been on
Then we get
holidays
a wee
since
break
Christmas.
in March, and then whole of April's a holiday again.
Yeah, that's right. Just like everyone's always on holiday,
Apart from us.
apart from us. That's what I'm thinking. You know, but I am. No, I can't say
Well,
that.
you're on holiday, but it's not when it's. You're on holiday. It's not when it's a holiday.
That's true.
It's just.
Well, I can't complain about
yeah.
never being on holiday if I'm on
I
2
know,
weeks
but-
holiday. That would be
but-
quite rubbish of me, to be
You're on
fair.
holiday when it's not a holiday, when everyone else is off on holiday.
I think since I'm
Same with
on
me.
holiday, we can get another 1 or 2 runs in as well.
Yeah, I might manage. I might manage next week. I think I've got to go to the mainland next week.
Right.
One day, stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see. Oh, there's another postie. I just met
Oh, yeah.
the van.
Oh,
The
postie.
van went past collecting the mail from the box,
Yeah.
and she's going past putting the mail in people's boxes.
Oh. Different van, different
Different
job.
van, different job.
Right, you might not get
Probably
this.
she's got a union for putting mail in boxes, a different union from the guy that just went past.
I
and
don't know.
Took mail out the boxes. Probably two.
She's not on
different
strike
unions.
as well. I mean, some of them, are they still on strike, the post people? Post people? That's a postwoman. I don't know if she's allowed to be a postwoman.
Person.
Is she allowed to be a postwoman?
Postwoman, yeah.
I don't know, because you're not allowed to be a postman, are you? Oh, you see, I don't know. I don't even know anymore, Gordon. We're from the wrong century.
I've not seen.
That's the problem.
I've not seen any coots yet. You get to see. I've seen a lot of little coots around here.
All right.
Went the little blackbirds with little white bits.
Yeah, that nice things, aren't they?
Yeah, I've not seen any so far, but I usually see them around here. Anyway,
Right. Other news, Burt Bacharach died. I know
Yes.
that's not an Arran thing, but I was sad to hear it. He was an old, I think it was 94 from memory.
was he?
Yeah, I think so.
But as soon as you mention Burt Bacharach, I think of Austin Powers.
Austin Powers.
First thing I thought of when I heard of
What was it,
Burt
Austin
Bacharach.
Powers?
He just used to like Burt Bacharach.
No, that's
You know, watch the films.
Not for a while. I never sit still long enough
Like
to watch
Burt
films.
Bacharach.
I do.
Yeah, another.
Well, I looked up before we came out. Here's some of the songs. So there's 5 songs that I've written down here.
Right, you played one on your guitar.
I
didn't
did,
you?
yeah, because it's such great songs he's done, and there's so many more than this. But John Warwick did "Walk On By," "Walk On By."
Yeah.
"I Say a Little Prayer" by Aretha Franklin. "I Say a Little Prayer for You."
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I wonder if that's his.
Okay.
Jeez.
"Close to You" by the Carpenters. "Close to You."
All right. Yeah. The whistly bit.
Yeah, right, got that right.
Yeah.
"Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head." Yeah, you know that. Yeah, can you know?
He wrote that.
Yeah, "Raindrops
Jeez.
Keep Falling on Your Head," and that was B.J. Thomas is the name of the person that did it.
Right.
"This Guy's in Love with You" is the one I did by Herb Albert. I've forgotten the tune now because I'm doing the other ones. Don't look at me like that. Don't try to extract that information. I'm not capable, even though I've actually learned all the words.
Right. Well,
I can't remember this. I can't remember. No, I can't. I've still got the
Right.
whistling song, and "The Look of Love" by Dusty Springfield. The
that's it.
look, toot toot, of love.
All right.
Yeah.
I think "The Look of Love" by what's his name?
Well, no, you're
Oh,
talking about "Power of Love."
No, "Look of Love."
There's a few Power of Loves.
Come to me. Do I? 80s.
I don't think it's going to come to you.
Look
Oh,
of
that's
Love.
that's your specialist
Um,
subject as well.
Lexicon
The
of
80s.
Love. The band. Oh my.
The Look of Love. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go for a run, and then at some point,
It will come.
you can tell me what the answer is for the look of... Okay, so that's the next exciting thing that's going to happen on this hill. Gordon's going to find a member in his grey matter. Right, so we're halfway up. There's Gordon in front of me. And it's a good reason that Gordon is in front of me, because
This is the steepest part. We're at the waterfall, which is lovely as well. I like that waterfall. But this is the steepest part. We've just gone up the very steepest part actually. If I film back down, that's like 45 degrees going down there. We're only halfway up and the car is beyond those green fields. Gordon, what was your course record time that you currently hold? Roughly speaking, did you look it up?
Yes.
What is it roughly?
From the loch to the road, 11.5 minutes.
11.5 minutes is how long it took Gordon, for the course record he still holds, to run down this. And there's a lot more hill beyond that, by the way. We're only halfway up. All the way down there, and that's not even runnable because it's almost vertical. I mean, I'll be walking down it, Gordon. I'm not going to be. I'll just take a tumble. I will. I can go up it, no problem, but down it is the disastrous thing. I'll even just poke the camera down here just for a second, right? Just for a sec. And the weather, by the way, the weather is what we were hoping for, isn't it? This is good running weather. It's not sunny, but we don't need sun. What we need is mild, dry weather, and that's what we've got. So I don't know if you get the angle there. It's very steep. It's almost unrunnable. And he ran all the way down there, right to where the sea is down there. And we're only halfway, remember. 11.5 minutes. And you reckon somebody ran up it?
3.25 miles?
3.25 miles in 11.5 minutes, so like 4-minute miling. And the guy that holds the record going up, we reckon was 7-minute miling running up this. That's not you in this case. Downhill's more your speciality than uphill, but neither of us were ever going to do that.
Well, just to give an example, our first mile was 17:49.
Yes, we've been talking, I haven't said that. And we have
no,
walked.
but I'm just, we're
messing
steady,
about.
But
yeah.
17:49.
Yeah, he's doing half that.
He did under half.
He's sprinting.
He's sprinting up.
Yeah. So there you go. But you hold it, and that's the fact. So there's no other way around it. On Strava, which is the main way people measure.
Down quicker on,
they might have, but most times they're on Strava if they're serious. And sometimes somebody might take it. But the fact is, you've got it, and that's all anyone needs to know. Okay, we're going up again. There we go. Right, we're almost there. It's just coming into sight. Oh, I'm out of breath. We're still running. I'm running behind Gordon.
Coire Fhionn Lochan.
Coire Fhionn Lochan. Yeah. No, say it again.
The little loch of the tail of Coire.
The little loch of the tail of Coire.
Tail, as in light.
Oh right, yeah. Okay.
Doesn't look very light.
Oh, and what a view behind us as well. Oh. And we did end up with the weather. Oh, I'm so grateful. There's not even any wind here, hardly any. Bit of cloud. I also thought it would have been overcast here. What do you call it? Cloudy. So we wouldn't be able to see anything. The time before last I came up here, couldn't see anything at all apart from a few feet in front of you. And then it all cleared away like magic. And then last time, everything was white. Couldn't even see the sand. And now here we are again at the beach. We could be in Barbados. Stop to watch. Okay. I'll just take this in. Isn't that great? What a spot. I've said it before, but it's just so magic to be here, isn't it?
Yeah. It's nice, let's be on a sunny, clear day, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
Sunny, clear day.
It's not a sunny, clear day, but we are lucky. Because I was fearing for us. Did you get your jacket on at all? No. You don't have it on. I've got my... I'll just wipe the lens there. I've got a bit steamed up. Because I've been running. I got my lightweight blue jacket on, which is just a spring jacket. And I nearly got in trouble with that, but I didn't. We're actually too warm, aren't we? You get this one. You get a 40. And taking the opportunity to get a photo, or as they say, the chance-opportunity. That's the other one. Stanley Baxter said those two things. Take every chance-opportunity in life. Opportunity. I think opportunity is my favourite of the two. Get a photo of me, photo of you. Taking a photo. Talking about, we've run up here and both of us are heading towards the bus pass. I heard a quote the other day, yesterday, Groucho Marx said it. And he said, and you might not get this, but it just sounds funny. And he said, I was born at a very early age. Did you get that? I was born at a very early age. And before I had time to regret it, I was 4.5 years old. Now, the thing about that is, it's kind of subtle, but of course everybody's born at a very early age, aren't they? They're born on day one. Right? Like there's no exceptions to that rule. You're not born at a late age. Yeah, there you go. So that's my quote for today, my clever quote. Since I've saved that all the way up here. We didn't break any course records coming up. We did walk little bits of it. Yeah. We walked a little steep bits, didn't we? Well, we didn't.
It's not bad.
Yeah. And as usual, the water is absolutely perfectly calm. Just wipe my lines again here. It seems to get steamed. Oh no, that's actually the reflection of the water that's making the camel look
I saw
steamed
a
up.
jellyfish on the beach this morning.
Did you?
In February.
Jellyfish?
Yeah.
Gosh, it has been a while winter though, hasn't it? I mean, I've had my bedroom window open all of February and I don't have any heating on. I've got the bedroom window open the whole time. Just because it's fine. I don't know what I'm going to do once it actually does heat up. Because I'm comfortable.
Sleep outside.
Sleep outside. And the other thing is, I mean, I've given up my bonnet habit as well, my sleeping bonnet habit. Because when it got really cold, I wasn't putting electric heater on, not when it's...
With the hair as well.
Well, that's the thing.
Leaves the bonnet
That
habit.
explains my bodiness. Well, this will help, or at least it'll stop disadvantaging my hair. So I think the bonnet habit is just as well. It's finished now. Or I could be able to do a whole drum solo on my body dome. Assuming I am allowed a body dome. I said that. The clouds up there, just skimming past. Oh, have a good look at them. So we're actually heading up there, aren't we? Not on the right. Oh no, what we're gonna do? Run round the loch.
I'd fancy just running around the loch today.
Or do you want to run up to that triangular bit up there? There's a path, I can see it.
Yeah.
Just to the triangular bit and then come back?
There is a path down there.
There is, it crossed over the river. Can we try it just to the triangular bit, but not... Like, I can see a path that goes all the way along. I'm told you can go over the ridge as well, right? Not there, none of that, right? We can go back to that, but let's just say triangular bit, or we'll turn round if the path goes horrible, a bog fest, and then we'll run round the loch. Since it's good weather, let's take advantage of it, because I'm not tired. Triangular bit first, and then bog fest, and then loch fest. What are you thinking? Okay, bog fest.
Well, we'll go that way.
Yeah,
Left
go that way.
There's a decentish path that way.
It starts off decent.
I'm not sure what it's like the other side, but
That might be
I'd
the bog
like to try
fest.
it out.
We'll try both. Okay, we'll see it. We'll come back, put the camera back on when we see how we're getting on. Right, well, we're at the top of the hill. There's one heck of a boggy path. It's that swimming pool. There's Gordon running ahead. And behind me is the loch. But we're actually running away from it to get the view of Glen Catacol. Just catch up with Gordon. And I'm hoping we're going to get it once we go up this rise. Oh, boggy. So there's another little cairn thing up on top of that bit of hill there. Nah, my shoes are biting the bullet in this. This is extremely boggy. Oh. Well, I'm running in a river on the path here. It's worth it. Never been here before. I imagine Gordon must have been, because he knows you get a view of Glen Catacol from up here, but I don't know that. So there's the cairn I'm going past. Looks like the view's right in front of us now. Yep, I think he's at it. He's at it. Oh, Oh, this bit of path's bad. That's boggy. Right, stopped. Let's catch up, see what Gordon has brought us to. Ooh, there we go. So that's what he's got, Glen Catacol, he said. Oh, that's stunning. Loch Tana. Is that up there? That's the one with a really boggy hill path. I've said that.
It's not just boggy, it's just really rough.
So just taking in this view, I'll go full circle and then we'll head back down the boggy hill path, looking at Glen Catacol.
And then the glen at the back,
Yeah.
that's where you've got the rare white beams, the trees.
Oh, is that where the white beams are?
Up that glen at the back there, I can't remember the name of it.
And the white beams have been planted along Brodick Front. Did you know that? That's the trees. Yeah. Along Brodick Front, at just beside where I work. So there's going to be a lot more white beams about, and they're all growing like mad. But it was just here, wasn't it? It was just they were like the rarest tree in Britain or something like that, wasn't it? The white beams.
Over the back of that, you've got Loch na Davy.
Loch na Davy.
You got the white beams in, and then you go around to Loch na Davy, and that takes you down to the distillery.
Distillery. Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Gosh, I'm losing my bearings altogether.
That's the weather.
Yeah, that takes you to the distillery. Along to the left, yeah, that's right, I don't even know where I am. Down there on the left, yeah, down that valley. And up the top.
The far horizon, over the top, that's
over the top.
Down to Loch na Davy.
Yeah, Loch na Davy. And there's a massive mountain behind that.
Yeah.
We're going to just see, can't quite see the top of it. I have no idea. Well, it's got to be. Well, I think that's north, isn't it? I don't know. Over that way, to the left. Oh, there's the rain starting.
Compass in here, but I'm looking at. Yeah, there's the rain starting.
No.
You said that, didn't
And now
you?
we're right at the top.
No rain.
Okay, we'll turn round. Let's go back. We're going back. Let's go. Right, we've turned round. Gordon's ahead again. I always just hang back a bit. It's taking a second to find the on button on the camera. Get the camera out. We've turned round. We're getting rain blasted now. He's at the cairn we were looking at from the bottom. Oh, sorry, there's two cairns. We're just about to get the view of Coire Fhionn Lochan because it's just over this little rise here. First of all, I've just got to catch up with Gordon on this very difficult terrain. It's slippy and mushy underfoot. It's a small path. It'd be fine in the summer. It's well marked, but it's not undrained, so you're running here. You could lose your shoes. There's Gordon stops, so it looks like that's going to be our view there. Woo, that was buggy. There we go. There we go. Wipe the lens here. Oh, so the weather turned for the worse. Yes, that's right. Gordon's got his red face back. I've probably got a red face as well. Let's have a look deep. Yes, it's a bit colder now, but we're undaunted because we made it. We've got to run all the way down past there. Are we going to go around the far side? Yeah. We're going to. Do you think there's a path that will take us around there?
Probably.
Well, we'll see when we get down. Okay, we'll see. I'll put the camera back on when we get to the far beach down there and we're sunning ourselves on the beach. We'll do that. Okay, there's the view. Better carry on then. Off we go. Hopefully we don't fall going down this because this was a very, very boggy part of the path. I'll turn this camera off and just concentrate. Right, we're back down. And we're looking at foam, amazingly, and there are waves, even though it's a loch. Thought it was snow. And I said it would be foam or maybe even toad eggs or something. Anyway, there's white foam all the way along the edge of the water there. We came down that. It took us what, 3 or 4 minutes or something to come down there, Gordon. Not much. It wasn't. It was runnable, which I didn't think it would have been. There's that white foam there. Amazing. And waves on a loch. And now, as you can hear, starfish. There's a starfish on the beach. Have you ever seen such a starfish? It's got everything here. It's like paradise. Sandy beaches, sun-kissed, not quite. We've got a tide coming towards us, by the cove it, because all the waves are coming towards us. And foam and starfish. What more do you want? Nothing. And we were up the top there, and then we carried on a bit further up there, but we didn't go up the top there, which is completely covered in cloud. And that might have been more difficult, especially with Patrick. I think so. So fancy basically come back when it's a couple of months' time or something. It's nice to
miss the way. You know, you could have got there and you've got to find the route down, so that might be tricky.
Yeah.
In that cloud.
Yeah. Nice to hear the water.
Yeah,
surprising, isn't it? Lapping.
I saw a first toad, frog spawn today.
All right.
On the beach. There's always a bit where it was February.
I saw hundreds of toads on the road. I was cycling from Whiting Bay to Brodick, and the cars were going up and down, and because I was in a bicycle I was seeing the carnage and trying to save them, and saving some and putting, anyway, it's not a good story. Maybe half the ones I came across were savable and the rest weren't. There were an awful lot of toads, and that was about 4 or 5 days ago. And I read on Facebook that there were a massive number of toads all right round the south end, but that was like on the way down from Lumlash, from the heights towards Lumlash, just Toad City. And it actually broke my heart, to be honest. Yeah, in February as well. So cars, Jagnaviton cars. You know what I do, ban from the whole island, but that's lucky I'm not in charge, because very few people agree with me, especially people that own businesses. But that's what I do. There are other islands that have done it. Just have essential vehicles only and a heck of a public service. Anyway, I'm speaking as someone who also has a car, but then you've only got a bus every 2.5 hours, so that doesn't work. You know, you have to compromise. You have to accommodate that. You know. Right, we'll carry on. Let's go, running in paradise. I've done this. Hell yeah, there's footprints. Footprints in the sand. Funnily enough, the last time I came up here, I quoted that, because that was one of 2 poems that were in my mum's bag everywhere she went. Footprints in the sand was one. And it was, anyway, it was about there being 1 set of prints sometimes and 2 sets the rest of the time. And somebody asking God, how come you know, when I was in trouble there was only 1 set of prints, you deserted me. And the point was, no, there was 1 set of prints because I carried you. That's what it was. So it was to do with faith, you know. That was a good wee story. Right, we'll carry on. This path's better than the one up the hill at least, even though it's just as wet. We've already consigned our dry shoes to the dustbin, and it's a nice feeling when you do that. It's almost like owning an old car and getting to the point where you don't care if it gets dented anymore. Same as shoes. Once they're not dry, you don't care how wet they get. And so you can be careless, carefree with your wet shoes. The same as my 11-year-old car. You know, someone dings it, it just doesn't matter. It's nice to be that carefree. I'd almost hate to have an Aston Martin. Almost, for that reason, you know, because you'd be worrying about it. You just ran to a river. No, I did. Yeah, carefree. That's an actual river. Yes, this is quite bad. Right, I'll concentrate. What were you saying, Gordon?
Make a good hill race.
Yeah.
The beach to beach.
Where would you go?
Down the dark,
yeah.
Up here, down the loch, so 1 beach, right round to that beach, back to this beach, right down.
Right down. We've been right round it. In the summertime that'd be a good path.
Didn't take long, it didn't take you like...
Didn't take long.
What, to get right round there, 10 minutes? 10-15 minutes maybe to get right round there?
Yeah.
In the summer maybe.
Be like that'd be the 10k, wouldn't it? 10k up to Coire Fhionn Lochan, round, back and down again. Nah, I don't think so. 2.5 will go for 2.5 each way. I only guessed them, I don't know. I don't think it was more than 3. It was the slope that made it hard, not the distance.
The 10k we've got them down twice.
No, I think two and a half miles here and two and a half miles back.
Well, it said it's 3.25 miles on the walk.
It did.
And I reckon that must be from here on the road up to the loch and back. That can't be.
And back. Oh, yes, that must maybe.
So I was talking
I don't
rubbish
know.
about.
I don't know. Isn't it funny we've been here for like all our lives just about, and we don't even know if the road map sign that says 3 miles
Said that guy ran up
means
21
there and
minutes.
back.
That guy ran up 21 minutes, he's just 7-minute mile, and that's only if it's 3 miles up to here. And
Yeah.
3 miles back down.
Makes more sense if it.
Then again, if it's not
Yeah. We're just walking some of
a
it.
mile and a half down,
It's very steep though.
surely.
I don't know, because you can't run some of it.
How's-
But that, I think that's the salient point here, is that you and I don't know if a road sign means there and back, or just there. We've learned nothing. We know nothing,
Maybe
Gordon.
the sign will tell us how far it is to the loch.
Or you can look at your thing and decide when we get back.
I looked at Walk Highlands
On your Garmin,
route.
we'll mark it just now.
no, on my phone, and it said 3.25 miles, but it didn't say if that was up and back.
Well, we'll
There's
know
a
if
sign.
you mark how many miles it is now. It says, right?
Okay,
What does it say?
It's,
That's how much time, doesn't it?
Is that
2.9. Right, so no, that's it. But we're starting at 2.92, right? So whatever it says when we're back at the car, we'll take it off 2 points. So
So it's not because that.
no, it's not, because we've only done 3 miles and we went up to the top.
All the way up there
Yeah,
around
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
Right.
That's what it is.
So it must be up and
Yeah.
down this 3.25
That's right.
miles.
Yeah, that makes no sense. So just over 1.5. That makes sense for the times. No, it wasn't. And we're incredibly slow. Right, we better get going. Just take it steady. Good, because I'll just fall over. And you might as well, having said that. But you're probably less likely to fall over than me. Okay. I think I'll keep this camera running just for a wee second, because we're going to crest this little bit here and get the view looking back down, aren't we? And we can see what weather we're facing on the way back down as well. So I'll just keep this running. I'm glad we came out and I'm not cold. Better now, yeah. It was cold at the top, but that's just mountains for you, isn't it? There's like no wind here at all. Almost. Yeah. Oh, you had 2 jackets, yeah. Oh. And you've got a spare one, so you get a little lightweight one on. Yeah. Well, I learned my lesson. I'll bring both jackets next time, just in case. I was lucky this time. Or you might say, I wasn't lucky, because I thought it was going to be this weather. So maybe it's just good planning. It's always better to have a backup plan though, and I didn't have one. And I'm going to order new trail shoes as well. Right, here's our view. I think I'll just stop here for a sec. Whoa. And probably want to stop your watch again, aye.
Old Mullican tyre.
Oh, Mullican tyre. And we're heading for that green patch away down there.
Do you know what that stretch of water's called? You should know, being Calmac.
Oh, and I'm going Kintyre Peninsula.
No, there's a stretch of water.
What, I don't know.
Brannan Sound.
Cobran Sound. I've just got Kintyre Peninsula.
Calmac, that one.
Yes, I do. And it's making me baldy as I speak. That's not good.
Look, there's that'll be one of the up to one.
Skip
of the,
nest.
Is that Loch Fhionn? No.
I'm thinking it's Cloneg.
Loch Fhionn? No, but the
Oh, the other bit further than that.
sea loch. Loch Fhionn,
Yeah, I'll take your word for that one, Gordon.
I guess.
All I know is that that's going to be Cloneg over there.
Yeah.
Ferry will go over to there, but beyond that, it's a good thing we know how to run. You know more than I do. Anyway, right, that'll do. Right, we're back down. Gordon came down faster than me, and I came down a bit slower because I don't want to. I don't. I've got my shoes are rubbish, but also I don't want to chance anything. We had good weather, really the whole time, apart from just the very top when it was windy, and that wasn't even that bad, was it?
Well,
we'd stayed up a long
to get back
back down. But once we're down at Loch, it's been fine. It's been fine ever since.
And it's fine now.
And it's fine now. I actually can see the sun. It's that little tiny slight whiteness in the clouds just above the sea there. Only just. It was a good run though, wasn't it? It was nice to come back down. I'd take a bit more time than you. I'm just too scared of getting injured going down that, you know, slippy surface.
I just like getting in a rhythm.
Yeah.
I kind of takes me, once I get in a rhythm, I just,
You like it?
I don't intentionally try, and I just get in a rhythm and
go over the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't see anybody else the whole time, did we? We saw one set of footprints.
Apart from the folk with the dogs.
Oh, there was right at the beginning, there were people with dogs just
Nobody else.
at the bottom, probably just walking the first wee bit of it. Nobody else. Footprints in the sand and that was it. And it was okay, just as long as you've got good footwear, because it was quite boggy, wasn't it, in some places. And have we had much? Well, we've been rain today, I suppose. I don't feel like we've had a lot of rain lately. It's just winter, isn't it? It's just winter paths. Yeah.
Pretty wet.
Pretty wet, especially when we went around the far side of the loch. But like I said, it didn't matter. Our shoes were already full of water by that point, so it didn't matter at all. So that was nice. So we'll get back out again in a few days. I'm off every day, so you just have to name it.
Next week I've got next week.
Well, we'll see. We'll stay in touch.
I do have to go away next week. It's the following week I have to go away.
And then we'll maybe go to Carn or somewhere like that. That's a big hill.
I'm thinking the best
or
way
Goat
to
Fell.
It's not too long, as you say.
Goat Fell. First ascent of the year for me. For you as well. Yeah, because your brother went up, didn't he?